Hello everyone, welcome to the session. I hope all are doing well. So previously we done with the random numbers and encapsulation, generalization. So after the getting a grip on these topics, so we are going to discuss about the examples regarding this while loop, for loop, and nested for loop. Sorry, nested for loop and while loop both. So after these examples, we can proceed with the examples like nearly 10 is enough for this random numbers in loops because if you know the how to use these random numbers in the loop, that is enough for that. But these conditions which we are now in coming examples, so the situations will be different in cases, so we have to think in different manner. So when we are doing this, just a basic examples, and after if you are confident about this, and you can proceed with the tough examples, and tough you can practice it in compiler. So now we are going to discuss about this while loop examples, and after this unit to complete completion. Lastly, I will also once again start the explaining the examples because now I will start with the basic examples, and afterwards I will choose the hard examples. It's also nearly like 20 examples. So now we are going to start this while loop examples. So here is the first example that, yeah, write a while loop that prints the number 1 through 10. So we know that this thing. So there is no need of running it again. So here he given the condition, and he's saying that print n until and unless okay, condition will be fail. So when n equals to n starts from 1, there is initial value. So n starts from 1 and it prints from 1 to 10 because it's not less than 10, it's not less than or equals to 10. So if we will print it, yeah, n. So n will starts, I mean, the value will starts from 1 and it end with 10. Yeah, there is no indentation. See here, I did not given this indentation. So it's showing that indentation error. Yeah. See here I got one. Why? Because this thing. Because it stuck at one only. It doesn't go further. It stucks only one. So it print again same one. So that's why we have to print the value of adding the one and for n is inside the while loop. So we can get a limited. Yeah, here defined outputs. Otherwise, we will get the undefined, which will repeating the value 1 again and again. When we remove this, what is the meaning there? That value of n, right? So n is 1. 1 less than equals to 10. So when a condition passes, so print that number. So what is the number 1? It prints the 1. But again, it goes at here because when the condition fails, and after that we can come out of the whale. So before we cannot come out of the whale. So while loop. So when the condition fails means n becomes 11. But when n becomes 11, if we will it will consider this thing, then n becomes 11. But this is outside the loop, right? So when we will go the outside the loop, never, because if this condition will be fail, we can go out of the loop. Then it will be see this term and it will consider 1 to 2. But when we will go then sorry, this condition will be never be fail because n becomes 1. It did not get increment like yeah, increment like adding 1. So it is still 1. So 1 printing 1 again it go here. So there is no increment, so n was still 1, and 1 less than equals to 10. Again printing 1, and it again goes to here, and still the value of n was 1. So 1 is less than equals to 10. This is what happened when we not add this increment. In for loop, there is no need of increment because it's go in the we having the range and it goes according to that 1 2 3 4 like that. So this is the main important thing that we have to learn about this increment. If we did not add it inside the while, so it will gives infinite outputs, like undefined indefined outputs. If you yeah, because at infinity also it doesn't get, this condition doesn't get failed, so it's always pass. When you add this n equals to n plus 1, then the condition will be fails at 11, so it will stops there. So this is the importance of this term increment. So again, we are going to the another example. This is a basic example, but from this basic example, we have to do like what will be happen if we done any indentation error. So we have to see that. And again, now same thing. Write a loop all even numbers. So you can do in the you can do in two types. Whether you can use continue, right? Like see n divisible by, okay, same thing, right? So, oh, no, yeah. See here, when if you remove this thing, no need. N is divisible by 2, right? Wait, yeah, it will gives the infinity. So there is no limit because we are using the condition n is 10. Sorry, n is divisible by 2. So there is infinity loop. Sorry, infinite output. So don't use like that. If you want the even numbers until infinite numbers, then you can use that. But for now, n is less than or equals to 20. So the range of n was 1 to 20. So now you have to find the even numbers inside the n from 1 to 20. You can take it as 2 because yeah, we have to start with 0, not 1, because 1 is an odd number, then it will gives the odd numbers. When you given the even number plus 2 is a even number. So for example, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2. So these are all even numbers. So that's why we add to the uh, for n. And we have to initially we have to give the value for n was 0 or 2. It's your wish. Yeah. 0 to 20. If you want to give not 0, you can give 2, but not 1. Because when you are giving the 1, right, so it will use the odd numbers. For example, I will give you here 1. Yeah, what will be happen? It will give the, see, total odd numbers. So you can find both odd numbers and even numbers in a range with using the while loop. So this is how he finds that. These are all basic things, okay? And how to, we already know that we are coming from top to bottom, like in for loop, how we came. See here, if you want to use like for I in range of 10 comma 1 comma minus 1, right? So this is how we are using in for loop, that we are coming from 10 to 1, but we have to come like we have to come here like 10, and the initial value is 10. Okay, the initial value of 10 is 1, and which was the condition also 10. So if you use 1 here and here minus, so this we have to add asterisk, otherwise it will count it. I mean, yeah, run it. Okay, this is an infinity loop. So see here, yeah, infinity loop. Okay, I have to give like 0, right? So it will stop at 0. Otherwise, it will give infinity thing. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, greater than 0. N is greater than or equals to 0. See, 10, 9, 8, 7. So this is the format of finding in while loop, not for loop. Okay, in while loop that from 10 to 0. Okay, so if you want to write up to 1, then you can run it with the 1. So you will get the same thing. After this, yeah, here they done 20 to 1. If you want, you can do with the, yeah, initially you can give 20 and you can add 2. It will give the values. Yeah, it will give the values up to 2, right? Okay, 2 because the value is 1 here, so 1 is odd, so it gives up to 2. If you want another like, yeah, even number, if you want odd number, then you can, yeah, you have to change this thing. 21, 19 like that. If you want only below 20, so you can add 19 because already 20 is even number. So if you add a 19, then it is numbers. These are the numbers which inside a range of 1 to 20 and odd numbers. Fourth question, that what is the output of the following code? So he was asking that n equals to 0. So what is the output? So here the output was, first one is 0, second one is 1, 4. Sorry, 0 to 4. For example, yeah, we started with the initial value 0 for n. So see here indentation. Okay, when n was starts from 0, 0 is less than 3. Yeah, condition passed. So it would print the 0. 0 into 2 was 0. So you will get the first answer was, I mean, first line was 0 and plus 1. So when we are doing this increment, we will convert, I mean, it will convert from 0 to 1. So n equals to 1 less than 3. So here, right, 1 is less than 3 and 1 into 2, 2. And third line, the n becomes 2. So n less than 3, true. So it will run it. Yeah, 3, sorry, 2 into 2 was 4. But when it comes to the 3, the value, yeah, the condition becomes failed. So you have to stop the loop. So you will get the 3 lines, 3 iterations, 3 lines of the code 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2. So this is the output for the given code, or otherwise you can do anything like, yeah, it's your wish. But I am doing this thing to, like, I want to show whether we can enter any number. The test case, like, the output was correct, so our code was correct. And don't do it like this when you're practicing, because you already done with this example. Just like, go with the another example. Don't do like changing the numbers and running it. This is waste of time. If you want to see, then use only like if I change only one time, just do like that. And after this, what is the output? Like, yeah, here he started that adding this and you the initial value was 5, so it's coming from up like C. Okay, see here. Here, when we are coming to this code, n was starting from 5, not 10. Okay, so it will, yeah, it will in one line because there is, we are using n, right? So with every integer, for before time also we used same thing. If you remove and, then we will get the same thing like 10, 9, 8, up to 1 because there is no equal to. So 10 to 1 we will get in a different lines. But when we are using and, so when we are using this and, it will give us in one line with the what you written inside the and, like star, and what you done with inside the and, it will keep the element inside the two like outputs, like, yeah, elements which we are printing, right? So between the two ends, for first run, see it's giving in the whole output in one line, and with the space, see the space between 9 and 10 and 9, you can add not only space, you can add star. So it will be a star gives instead of, see, instead of that. So yeah, this is the thing that you already know about this thing. And we already discussed the indentation error, about indentation error also. And that's all regarding this example. There is nothing to explain, maybe. You know the how the and works. If you want everything in a different line, so you have to print off. No, no, no. There is not nested loop, right? Yeah. If you want, then you can just remove it. You can remove the and if you print and, what you will get? 10, 9, 8, right? So like this. If you want to add anything, then just string, add string here, because we are adding, not we did not using this comma, because sorry, comma, because if we use comma, then we will get the gap. So the gap is no need here, so we have to print like same. Yeah, see, 10 star, 9 star, 8 star, 1 star. If you add end here instead of this, and we have to add comma here, then we will got the same thing but in a single line. But here we can write in different lines as the same thing in different lines, then we can do this. We no need that print off, because we are not using the nested loop. If you use nested loop, after coming to the after completing this inner loop, when we are going to the outer loop, then it will be consider the print off, and it will go to the next line. But here there is no another outer loop, there is only a one loop. So in here we can use this string of n plus string star. Yeah, that's all. uh, After going here, see, 5432. Yeah, we changed it, but this is the answer for that. And loop to compute the sum of the numbers through. Hmm. This is a simple thing we already learned, but it is in a like, I think I said only one time with this. We done the coding with this type is as one time, I think so. First of all, total equals to 0. Huh? Yeah, total equals to 0. First of all, in most of the values, we have to take whether 1 because of when we take 1 is when we are into like multiplying it, then we have to take uh, 1 total equals to, because when we are intoing that 1 into anything was that thing. So if we adding that 1 is enough, yeah, totally when you are adding that 0 is enough, because we add 0 to anything, same thing. So that is the reason we changing the value of total in one at one time 0, one time 1. But see, total is not a reserved word. You can use anything instead of total. You can use t instead of total. So every time we are using total. So if now we are use t. T is not a reserved word. Okay, t is a normal normal variable. So let's take a variable t and assign a value 0, and another thing is input that n equals to 1. So n starts from 1, 1 to 100. 100 also included. So when we are going with this, what he asked was sum of the numbers from 1 to 100. So same thing here. If you want to give first of all, this is 0, this is 1. Here conditions of success. So t becomes 1, and again going here at here. If you see, if you print this thing in inside, what will be happen? It will give 100 outputs. Why? Because there is 100 iterations. See one thing, when you are using this print inside the while, you will get the number of in the output number of lines is equals to number of iterations. How many iterations will be done, how many times the condition will be success, and same number of lines in the output will be you got, like the number of what you can elements or values you will get. So when you do this, what it will done was after doing loop means it will consider everything what you are printing inside it. So when you are considering it, see here, when while 1 is less than sorry, yeah, 1 is less than or equals to 100. So when t becomes 1 and 1 becomes 2, because n is n equals to n plus 1, right? So when is n equals to n plus 1, n becomes 1 to 2, and t becomes 0 to 1 because adding 1. So the and after these two considerations, it will consider these thing also, right? So because it was inside the while loop. So when was it considering? It's saying that print the number. So it have to print the number. What is the number? T. So what is the value of t here? 1. So it will print the 1. After going to here, the second, what is the value of n here? 2. See, it will consider these values after the iteration. So, what is the value of 2 here, n here? 2. And when it going to the again condition, 2 is less than or equals to 100. And, uh, yeah, 2 is less than or equals to 100. Passed, condition was passed. So, t becomes what? T already 1. So then now the value of n was 2. So 1 plus 2, 3. So the second line it will print the 3. 1, 3. Okay. Because 1 plus 2. So here the value becomes 2 to 3. Which one? The value of n. So when you run it, you will got 1, 3, 6, 10 like that. So up to 100 lines of output is there. So if you want, I can give it that. See, lastly we got that 5050. The sum of first n natural numbers, like first 100 natural numbers was 5050. Same thing here. That here also the answer was 5050. But why we got 100 lines of output, why we did not get one line of output? Because we used this print inside the while. If you remove this and if you print it, it will loop was running, and final answer will be prints. What is the final answer here? When the n was reaches 100 plus 4950. What is the value of like at the 99 iteration? The value of t was 4950. So it becomes 5050. So when you run it, you will get only one output, one line of output, that is 5050. So same thing was happened, and like, so what you got the difference between if you print inside the while, inside the loop and outside the loop. Inside the loop means it will the number of outputs was depends on the iteration. If there is 100 iterations, there is 100 output, like, yeah, 100 outputs for first output one line, second output second line, like that. So when you print outside the loop, so the final answer of t was prints inside the print. So this is the difference. If you print these thing inside the while loop, then it will give the that thing. So see carefully, and after this write a value that comes with the factor. Yeah, we done these thing, but we are using yeah, we done with while loop, I think, factorial. When we are doing this factorial, we changing the value like plus 2 into, that's all. There's nothing else. See, this is mandatory in maximum yeah. Yeah, this is mandatory that which variable you are giving left side. Okay, for in condition you are giving here, right, that prints the number of iterations. So this is compulsory increment. Based on the question, increment or decrement or yeah, but I think only two types, increment or decrement. Adding the number, removing the number, like decreasing the number. So there is only two types. So after going with this, see here what he done. N equals to 6. He taken two variables because we have to use these two in the condition, and in statement we have to use this factorial. See here, he takes, before time he takes t is 0 because it's a addition. So in addition, 0 is applicable because of we are adding anything to the 0, we got the same thing. In multiplication, if we into 1 to the anything, we will got the same thing. If you use 0, then whole answer becomes 0. So here we have to use indentation, right? So when you're doing this, if you, yeah, yeah, you know that, no need to explain again. So here factorial is 1. So first I value also 1. So these thing is for initializing this term, like initializing this statement, so that it was given afterwards. This is no use. So for starting, you have to having some value, right? So like 1 into something. So after factorial changes to changes 1 to what we get the answer, that thing. So now the value of I was 1. 1 is less than 6, right? The 1 is less than 6, not 6. Yeah, true. So condition passed. So we have to choose this part. So what is this? That the factor value of factorial was 1. So 1 into 1, what you'll get? 2. So the new value of f was 2. 2. So now after we're going to the downside, the value of I was 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Again goes here. Yeah, 2 was less than or equals to 6. True. So where it have it goes at the here. What is the factorial of, so sorry, 1 into 1, not 2. 1 into 1 is 1. So when it goes here, 1 into, what is the value of I? 2. 1 into 2. So what is the new value of f was? 2. So like this, when you are going up to 6, okay, because he used here less than or equals to. So you have to include the 6 also. So when you're using 6, we know up to 5 was, yeah, up to 5 was 120. And before I think we done the question that 5 factorial. So multiplying this 24 into 5. So the value of f was 120. So for 6, what we have to do? Same thing. 6 is equals to 6. True. So 120 into 6. So what is the new value of f was 720. So this is the final answer for this question. If we try, I mean run it, 720 is the answer. So this is the way of finding the factorial using this while loop. And yeah, see, be careful when you're taking the values to the variables. So at starting you're taking right n equals to 6, factorial equals to 1. So make sure in addition you have to take factorial as 0, and subtraction, sorry, multiplication you have to take 1. Because if you take 0, then whole answer becomes 0, because the factorial is the value of factorial will, the final factorial in first iteration, the value of factorial will the the final answer. Okay, in the final answer of the factorial in the first iteration is new factorial for, like factorial for second iteration. Here in first iteration the value of f was 1. So in the second iteration, what is the value of factorial? Only factorial, not the new factorial. So same thing, 1. So again we are doing with the 2, right? So in the third iteration, I think so. So third iteration, what is the value of factorial? 2. Because before time we are multiplying this 1 into 2. So yeah, this is the output. If you give inside it, what will be happen? It will give 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 6, 24, and 120, 720. 1, 2, 6, 24, 120, 720. So this is how we are doing factorial. And same thing if you want, we done encapsulation, right? So in encapsulation, just adding a factorial like function here, you must know the syntax of the function. Like if you are encapsulating this code to the function, so be careful with the syntax when you are adding this adding this code to the function. So again you call it or you print it, your wish. So when you're doing that, you'll get the answer in a easier manner. In we can use that same thing in different types. Prints each character of the string. Yeah, we know this thing that. See here, I will explain about this thing. What is the meaning? I already explained, right? But I will give some explanation, brief explanation regarding this. How we have to indicate it in colors, I think so. I done that thing. So here, yeah, when we are going to when we are going here, so just paste it. Yeah. So here you can see that uh, what was going on. Like word is Python. Okay, it's a string. So when I is 0, so I already discussed about this function. The function was length of, right? The function is length of. So what is the length of the function length of was it will find the length of the input. It will find the length of the string or list, what you can say. So what is the length is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length of this thing is 6. So here he done this condition. See here how he was done that. You don't know the number of iterations. He did not give the n. So how you can say like how many times you have to print, like how many times we have to iterate. So we don't know the number of iterations, like number the range. So what we can do? He done that. The length of word. Okay, what is the length of word? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So here he done that. See here. So the length of the word is 6. So here you can write 6. Instead of this, you can write 6. What is the value of I? 0. So 0 is now he done strictly less than, so that we have to start from 0. Otherwise, you can start from 1, but you have to add equals to. So for that you can print up to n. Otherwise, if you print it 0, and you are, yeah, if you are write 1 here, if you done this, what will be happen? It prints up to o, not n. So sorry, it will remove the p, because I will say here, I will explain here everything. Wait a minute. Yeah. So what was this term word? Yeah, word I. So you have to find the this thing, because we are printing inside the, sorry, we are typing inside the print, so we have to find the value of this thing. So the length, we know the length of word was 6, so remove it. Here add 0. Why here we did not get p? I will say that. So when this here 1, okay, first of all it takes I value was initial value was 1, so 1 less than length of what is the length is 6, so 1 is less than 6. Yeah, true. Print the word of I. So here what we have to write was word of, what is the value of I was 1. So here I previously said you, right, the index, when we are giving an index to the elements inside a list or string or tuple. See here, word 1 is, we if we want to find it, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I previously said, right, the length of the given input, the length of the string or length of the list or length of the tuple is uh, one only one number, right, greater than index, the index of the last element. See here, because we are starting, when we are finding the length of this string, we are starting from 1, but when we are giving the index for the first element, we are starting with 0. So this is the rule, that we are start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that that is the reason we have to give I value was 0. Otherwise it doesn't print 0. If you leave it, if you print 1, then what will be happen? Yeah, what will be happen? The value was 1, right? So what is the value of word 1? Means this is word, right? Word 0 was p, word 1 was y, 2 was t, 3, 4, 5 was n. So when you're starting with 1, it prints y, not p. So that is the reason we started our output with the value y, not p. If you give here 0, then run it again. Sorry, we have to add hashtag here. Otherwise, it will, yeah. Yeah, see here we got the Python P here. So when we are using zero, assigning the zero at the initial, so when we are writing the elements inside the given string or list or tuple, so you have to start with zero because the index of the first element starts from zero. So when you are giving zero, while zero was less than six, the length of this thing is six. So six. So here the zero, right? So zero is less than six. Condition passed. When we are going here, print zero. What is the word zero? Word zero was P. Word one was Y. Word two was T. Word three was H. Word four was O. Word five was N. So this is how we have to indicate an element inside a string with this term. So just not only word, if you write here W. So you have to give here W. Which variable you are assigning, use the same variable with these brackets to indicate the element. So you are finding the element inside the string, you have to print like this. And here also you have to use W because length of W, right? Yeah, same thing you will get again. And after this, see here, if we, yeah, if we use greater than, yeah. See, totally at the starting, the condition was failed. So there is, but you can say when we are adding this one to the I, up to six times, it will get seven, right? Like six times, not seven times. I becomes seven. But then we can do right, like seven greater than length of W, say eight greater than length of W. But see here where the position, like where is the I was? I belongs to inside the loop. So when this condition was passed, then only we can run it. Otherwise, the starting condition is failed, so we can't enter into the loop. So when we can enter into the loop, only we can enter into the loop that, like, yeah, when it the first condition was passed. So this will be a failure. If you print it outside, like, sorry, outside, it will nothing because when you're doing this right, so after this failure, it will go here. If you again here print the value of I, it becomes 1. If I write print the value of I, it becomes 1 here. Because see here, when this condition fails, it will choose this term. Because after this loop stops, then we can come out of the loop. So when we are coming out of the loop, I is 0. 0 plus 1 means I equals to I plus 1. So what is the value of I? 0. So 0 plus 1 was 1. Print I means you will get 1. But it can't go again at here because this is not a loop. I we print I in outside the loop. So if you want to iterate, then first condition have to pass, then only we can do such type of thing. For example, yeah, if it will be success, then also we did not get anything because out of range. For example, I will use 2 here. I will start from 2, but I given p is 1, like 0. Sorry, length of p was 1 because only one element is there. So 1 is greater than 2, right? So I mean, sorry, 2 is greater than 1. The condition passes. But what will be happen if I run it? It will show the error. Why? Index error. Because you entered the value 2. Condition was passed. Okay. But when you are going to here, when you are going to the here, see here, word I. What is the value of I? 2. So word 2 is not there because it word 0 was there. Word 0 was P. word 1 also not there. Then how can we assign word 2? So it's an out of range. See here, string index out of range. So if you want, then you can minus to it, right? See again, you print p. Why? Because when you are running the loop, see here, 2 is greater than 3, and yeah, 2 is greater than 1. So when is 2 was greater than 1, it runs it. What inside the loop was print wi minus 2. So when the value was 2, 2 minus 2 was 0. What is w 0? Here, the value will be 2, right? So 2 minus 2 was 0. What is W0? P. So it gives P. But, sorry, when it, I write, so when it gives, okay, when it gives P, right? So here, after going inside it, there is a error. What is the error is out of range because when I plus 1 here, right? So when it was done, okay, when this increment was done, I 2 becomes 3. So 3 goes again here. 3 is greater than 1. Yeah, condition true. But when we are coming to the down line, like below line, that W is 3 minus 2. What is the value? 1. But there is only position at 0. The 1 and 2 are not there. So that you will get the again out of range. If you remove this increment, it will gives infinite p. Okay, if you give, it will give infinite p. Why? Because when it you gives the 2 here, right? So 2 is greater than 1, it prints it. Again here going, there is no increment. Okay, there is no increment and there is no decrement. So that is the reason it prints again, takes value I was 2, 2 greater than 1, again goes here, 2 greater than 1, again goes here, 2 greater than 1, 2 greater than 1, 2 greater than 1, infinity. So when every time the given condition was getting passed, so what it will do, it will do that print print w of I minus 2. So what is this value? This whole value was p. So it giving the infinite p. So if you do like this, that add an increment that minus it, like we now before time we are adding, right? Now we are minus it. You will get p, and after that, why we stopped with p, right? So why we stopped with p? Because when we are going with here minus 1, so what is the value of I was 2? 2 is greater than this condition will be passed and it will going at here. When it was going at here, it will print p because I minus 2 was 0, index 0 is 2p. So when we going here, it minus 1, right? So what is the value of I? The value of I was, what is that? Now 1. So again goes here. 1 is not greater than 1. 1 is equal to 1. So the condition fails. It stops the loop. So this is the different types, and if you done any these type of mistakes, you will got like this. When you forgot to add an increment or decrement, it will give an infinity lines of output or infinity output. So it must and should that you have to add an increment or decrement for so that the condition becomes failure at some point, like before time. Here we done when we done decrement, so for after the first output we got a failure, so that loop was stopped. So same as like that, if you add increment or you add decrement, so at a particular point the condition will be fails. So that is the thing that stops the while loop. So you got this thing that how different was that, and if you see that, don't if you have to start with zero here. Here you have to start with zero, okay? But length is you have to start with one. You have to start with one, count it, and go up to how many elements are there. But when you're assigning index to it, so be careful. You have to start with zero. So zero to zero, one, two, three, and so on. But the number was not up to length like this, same as like this. It five, and it is like greater than not. Yeah. If the length was 6, then the index of the last element was 5, like that, because we are starting index with 0, not 1. So when we are going with the ninth question, so what is this question? He was saying that word is encapsulation, vowels were, we will do in the compiler. Write a while loop that counts how many vowels are in the encapsulation. Okay, we will do it. So here when we are going with this, see here. Okay. See here when we are using this word. So he given a variable that word named as word, and he assigned the value encapsulation is a string. Okay. So vowels a I o u. So you have to find that whether the given condition. Okay. See whether the given word was uh, having the vowels or not. So what you will do, whether you have to check inside a word whether there is vowels or not. See here, the condition which was he used is different, different thing which we ever seen, because he used if else inside the while loop. So there is no use of else, because when the first condition passes, then we have to implement as per the first condition in the if else statement. So when we are going with this, see here, word was encapsulation, vowel was a I o u, count equals to 0, I equals to 0. Why we start from I equals to 0? You already know that the index was starts from 0, right? The index was starts from 0. This make sure you have to know about this, and yeah, index is starts from 0. That's why we are taking the value of I was 0. Then only we can do that 0, like up to we can go up to 5. So that, sorry, the length of this encapsulation was 3, 3, 3, 3. How many threes? 12, I think so. Yeah, 13. Okay, 13. The length of this word was 13. So what is the value of I? Like the highest value, 12, because we are starting the index with 0. So here when the index was I think yeah, almost the index was getting 0 up to 12, and same thing we have to print that. But here you have to count, I think so. Here you are doing count the question, always are in the string counts, yeah. See, write a value that counts how many vowels are in the string. So you have to count it. So if you want to count the number of vowels inside encapsulation, what you have to do? You have to do one thing. In keyword, you have to use in. Why? Because then only it will check whether the left side thing was inside the right thing or not. See here, word I. So first while 0, we are starting initial with 0, right? So we are going with 0 now. That 0 is less than or less than length of word. So okay, then here, so 0 is less than or 13, right? So when this condition passes, so it will choose the part inside the loop. So when we are going inside it, if word is 0, okay, sorry, the index is 0, what is that? E in vowels. So it was like for every I, like every index 0, 1, 2, 3, there is different like the loop was running, right? So when these condition passes, like this condition was passes, then it will be true. See, for example, word I, what is the word 0? E, right? E, right? E in vowels, what is the vowels? A, I, O, U. E in I, A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, true. So you have to go inside the if statement. True. So what it will be done? So what is the value of count? That's why he taken the value of count is 0 at the initial, because when we take 0, when we are adding it, okay, when we are adding the 1, if you add, if you start count 1, like initially with 1, so if without any, like if you give a word like without vowels, so the count will be 1, it becomes 1. So if you give 0, then if you provide word equals to a word which is there is no vowels in the word, so the count still 0. So when 0, it's when it they this case, when this condition will be true, count becomes 1. So same as this is not a loop, so immediately it get comes at down. What is that? I increment, I equals to I plus 1. So when this condition passes, whether here we have to get E or A or I or O or U, okay, AEIOU. If we get in the position of these term AEIOU, then the condition will be passes, and it will choose this. It will, sorry, a count will get some increment. So when you are doing this, see here, n fails. Okay, this while loop will be passes. There is not at all a problem, because up to here the while loop passes, but inside it there's another condition, that word in vowels, right? So n fails, c fails, again a. So when a coming, so a in vowels, yeah, true, this condition will be pass. So it choose the count before time when our what is that, a, right? So when e coming, the count becomes, sorry, the count becomes 1, right? So now the when a comes, the count become 2. So afterwards, what is the, we will see the final value. Okay, a p fails because p is not inside the vowels. S is no, yeah, S is not inside the vowel. U is inside, yeah, a e I o u, this u and this u. So count, this condition will be passes and count becomes 2, right? So it will be now 3. Loop is applicable for inside the if also. When we are doing this, right? So when we are, this count will be in second iteration, right? This is first iteration, second, third, fourth. In fourth iteration, what we done, the value of count was 2. So in the iteration fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, in the seventh iteration, the value of count is also 2. When we are adding 1, it becomes 3. So not only at here the loop works inside the if also, the loop was works because the count also inside the while, but not directly, it directly to the if, and if was directly to while. So you also, the count also, the value of count is not 0 here, the value of count was 2, and 2 plus 1 3, and again this iteration, u iteration completed, L fails, A, yeah, a is inside AIOU. So count becomes 3 to 4 because adding 1. Okay. So A completed. T I. Yeah. I is inside A E I O U. So 4 becomes 5. And A E I O U, right? I completed. O. Yeah. A E I O. When you're getting O, the final answer was 6. Means 6 times we got the 6 vowels are inside the word. Word. Okay. Just I think remove this word W. Okay. Word W. Inside the word W, we are having nearly encapsulation. You can call it encapsulation. Having nearly 6 vowels. So it counts 6 times. So remove this thing. When we run it, it will give 6 because the final answer what we did the final answer was 6. N will fail. There is no need to do that. But when the final count was 6, right? So the final count was 6, and this increment will do plus 1 plus 1, and after this n the value of I was becomes 12 to 13. When it goes here, 13 is not less than 13, condition fails, it comes out of the loop. So when it comes out of the loop, what is the final answer, final value for count? Yeah, final count, a value of count was 6. So it prints count, then sorry, when it print count, we will get the value, final value 6. So this is how we have to count. Not only here, in many ways, like in many things. So when you are giving the index, sorry, indentations, be careful. If you give this I plus 1 at here, sorry, okay. So here, be careful with the indentation and so if you, okay, print here, right? In the mail, right? So it gives 111, 222, 333, 444, 5, and 6. Here you can observe that, right? So you are getting count. Okay, because if this condition will be passes, right? Okay, this condition will be passes, then count becomes 1 to 2. But see here for E, for phi is at starting, right? So count becomes 1. So it prints 1. And C, the condition will be fails. So still the count was 1. So 1 1. When coming to the A, the condition will be again passes. I mean true. So the count becomes 2. So it changes to 2. So when the yeah 2 after A P S. So for PS 2 2 because this condition fails, still the value of count was 2. So here yeah, like here 5, right? So why 5? Because I, for I it was getting 5, but after the this ladder we got another vowel, so only 1 5 we got the 6 for O. For N for also O because N fails the condition, so it will choose the final count. So this is the way of finding for every like this is not like this is the right thing. And I want to show how the working of a loop. Okay, I want to show the working of a loop, how a loop works. So if you understand the working of a loop, then like it was iterating and it was doing again and again until and unless the condition was failed. So you will understand in that manner, then you can easily do codes like without any syntax error. If you doing like a just like a code, so you are just getting like learning everything in a normal manner, so you can't do properly, like you will get some syntax errors, right? Like if you think where you have to keep it, I have to keep it either here or either here. Otherwise, if I keep it either here or here or here, you will get some clumsy at here. So if you learn, if you think in the manner of a loop, so you can understand everything and you know where you have to keep it. So that's why I'm saying this indentation. If you keep here, if you keep here, if you keep here, you will get the mistakes. So yeah. So this is the reason why I said if we keep it here, what will be happen? The value of yeah count equals to 1 for first thing, and I I becomes no. Yeah, it getting late. I think so. This is we can't use this thing because when it was here, then loop again runs here. Yeah. Otherwise, when we are doing here, right? So it just I becomes 2 when this condition was passes. For example, if this condition passes, right? If you use here for first thing E, right? When E was coming here, E in vowels, yeah, condition true. So it consider both of these because I belongs to if, not while directly. So when E corrects, I becomes 2. Sorry, I becomes 1, right? So because the initial value of I was 0. So I becomes 1. So when it's going again here, I becomes 1. 1 is less than 6. Yeah, true. When it's going again, what is the value of I? 1. So n will be printed. N in vowels, false. So it go against. But here you can see that it doesn't consider this increment. Why? You printed in if if statement, not while loop. If you print in while loop, then it will consider this increment and it will again add it. If on when it will consider if and only if this condition will be passes. For n, this condition was stopped. Like this condition was failed. So that here this increment is not applicable. So that again I value was 1. So again I value was 1. Again I value is 1. So it becomes an infinity output. So that is the reason you have to keep it here. When only this condition gets true, then only this increment will be works. Otherwise, you can't run without this condition passes. So that it will gives infinity loop. Why? Because I when I getting 1, this getting false. So again going here, there is no increment. So that is the reason I still 1. So it stucks in a infinity loop. So this is how you have to think when we are doing the while problems. So here, normally I don't know that what is the difference between this I indentation if we give here or if we give here. I don't know. And just now I got the point. That's why I stuck nearly 1 minute at there. So this is the reason before time I done so many mistakes like this. So when I'm in a first year, I mean first year BTech, so I done this type of mistakes that I don't think in a loop manner. So I just doing the code and I am doing that. I didn't think that why I am keeping this I at here. Why I did not keeping it here. So at that time we did not done that. But you have to think in this manner, so in the loop, so you can understand loop, then you know the syntax to how you have to be create a code, so generate a code in a specific manner, so there is no syntax error if you understand the loops in the loops code. So okay, we are going to the next thing that Write a while loop that keeps asking the users to enter a number until they enter -1, then prints the total of all numbers entered. So here he was saying that, okay, see here, I just read it, but I don't understand. Yeah, write a while loop that keeps asking the user to enter a number until they enter -1. Okay, if you enter -1, then just stop the loop. That's all. So print the total of all numbers entered. So how many numbers we entered, you have to give the total. So for example, what he was doing here, that first of all total equals to 0, because I already said when we are using this plus operator, uh, 0 plus anything was, we get the same thing. So that uh, you have to using this total equals to 0. So number is input, you have to give input. So here they will say that if you enter -1, you can exit the exist from loop. But if you did not enter -1, you will stuck in the loop until and unless if you enter -1. So with this based on this condition, we have to create our own condition. What is that? Number is not equals to 1. When the number is not equals to 1, we have to again ask the input, right? So in that manner we have to create our own conditions. See here, he explains the only the example, and in some questions he will give the statement, but he did not give the condition. You have to think your own logical thinking. You can say in logical thinking, like a logic, you have to think that, okay, as your own. You have to read the question and you have to think that your own condition you have to generate. And some in some questions they will give the statement here, like uh, if some in some questions they will ask find the area, otherwise find the area, or find the area of the square, or what else. So in that manner you have to don't know the area of the square or area of the formulas, then they will give the formulas, and in a statement form you have to use the statements. But as conditions in for the conditions, they will provide only uh, yeah, information. They did not give any condition. You have to generate your own conditions. So after we created this condition that number is not equals to -1. So if we enter -1, then we will print the total. What is the total? 0, because when we starting only we will give the -1. So what is the value of total? 0. It will print 0. So if we enter 1 first, for example, if we enter number 1, so 1 is not equals to -1. Yeah, the condition was true. So it will choose the inner part of while until and unless we enter the -1. So you can having doubt that why we use two inputs, because this input is for this here, this condition. See, in many times we discussed that before for Python, right? In the Python example, I explained that if we enter the loop, we have to yeah, if we have to enter the loop, we have to satisfy the condition first. After only we can go into the loop. After we are going to the loop, we can use increment or decrement, like I equals to I plus 1, and we are using that, and we are running the loop again and again until the condition was failed. But here you can see, when we have to enter into the loop, we are required a value to the number, so that here we taken an input that -1 or sorry, other than -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, anything. When we are taking this, we can go into the output. But after going to the loop, So what will be like how it will be asked the another input, because we already given the one input, then how it will be asked the another input. Like if we enter one, then yeah, if we enter the one, then it will ask the another input because it is not minus one. If you can come out of the loop when you enter other than minus one, you can enter anything, you can come out from the loop. So you have to ask another input, then you have to give 6, 5, 3, 2, 4, and after only if you give minus one, when you give minus one, this number value was minus one changes to, this is the starting input. Wait, I will run it, then I will explain it clearly. For starting, I will take 5. So how it was taking asking this number, because this 5 was uh, this 5 was we used for entering into the loop. Okay, first of all uh, ca- uh, we have to pass the condition, so that we are asking we have to give the input. This starting input is for going into the loop. Okay, after we are going into the loop, if we know that when we are going into the loop, we know that we entered the wrong number. We not entered minus 1, we entered 5. So we know that because we entered into we are already entered in the loop. So if you want to come out of the loop, you have to enter minus 1, but we enter 6, 3, 3, sorry, 4, 3. So and until and unless if you enter minus 1, it asking the input again and again and again. But see here, when you're entering the number, right, what is the value of number here? 5. It adds total, what is the total? 0, 0 plus 5. You are having another doubt that why we used this total at here, we can use it here also. But if you use this term below this term, below this input, then it will counts from this 6, not count from 5. Okay, when we use this term downside it, the number is 5 here. But when taking another input 6, that the number changes to 6. So the total will add the number, not 5. It starts from 6. Both the terms we can write below and yeah, we can replace it here and there, but the starting point will be changes. If you keep it here, then here the value of number was 5, and after that we can change the number. See, first the value of number was 5, so it will add to the total, and after that when we are coming to the number, right, so we have to give another input. What is the another input? 6. So here the value of number was changed to 6, 5 to 6. So again going here, it's like an increment, you can say increment. But in increment there is a sequence that whether we are adding 1 to the each number, or whether we are adding to the each number 3, there is a sequence. But here there is no sequence, because if we try the sequence, we can get the a definite yeah, we can get the definite number of iterations, we can done in a different number of iterations. But here you can see, if I use increment here, I will get a different number of iterations. There is no entering. I don't want to enter any number, any input. But he asked that you have to enter an input, and until and unless you enter minus 1, then this loop will be stops. So when I entered this 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, the loop was running again and again because I am not entering the minus 1. If I enter minus 1, the number becomes minus 1. So when it's going here again, like how the increment works here, I plus 1, it becomes I equals to 1. So it gives to the condition. Same as when the number becomes minus 1, it gives to the condition minus 1 is not equals to minus 1. This is false. So that is the reason how we can stop say sorry, we stop the loop and we choose the total. What is the total? The final answer which was inside the loop. So here the final answer was 5, 6, 5, 4, 3. Right? So what is the we had 11, 16, 20, 23. So now we will enter the minus 1. When we are entering the minus 1, it will stop the loop. But it didn't say I stopped the loop. We just understand by printing the total. See here, when I entered minus 1, the condition get fails. So it chooses the total. So total is 23, which we added it adds the number. For example, if I keep these things at here below this line, index error will be occur. So you have to see carefully. Yeah, remove this and run it again. It will ask the input. There is no problem in it. But this input here, it was asking input, right? From which one? This one. The starting input to enter into the loop. So if you see, he done both in the same manner. Enter minus one to stop. If you run it again, enter minus one to stop. So you got the point, right? We are giving the input to the starting number to initialize the number. Before time, we are taking number as 0, number as 1, number as 2, number as 3. We are giving the initial number and we are adding increment here. I minus 2, sorry, I equals to I plus 1, I equals to I plus 2, like that. But here we have to give the inputs at the both places, increment and taking the number. So now I will take 7. See, now I will take only two numbers for our convenient to calculating this sum. So now I am going to take 4, 3. Now I will enter the minus 1. It will give the answer for before time. It adds from first input. From this input it adds everything, but now it adds only 7. It will gives the value 7. What? 6? Okay, sorry. See here, it adds these three things because we take an input where we taken the input. We taken the input at here, okay, at the second line, so that minus 1 also counted. When the minus 1 was counted, this number becomes minus 1. See, at starting the number was 4 plus 3, because see 7 will be never be added because before we are adding to the total, the number was changed to 7 to 4. See, 7 to 4 it changed before we are adding to the total because we typed like that. We typed before the before the total. So that before we add into the total is changed 7 to 4. So based on that, based on that 7 to 4, so that it adds 4 because after this input we are adding to the total, so it add 4, add 3, it adds minus 1 also because we are taking input, right? Minus 1 also same as these things. After adding this minus 1 to the total, we can go here. Minus 1 is not equals to minus 1. See, first it runs the code, after it checks the condition what a while will do. So while was doing the same thing that after first of all it was running with the value, after that it was checking when it runs with minus 1 and after it's checking minus 1 and it getting that minus 1 is not equals to minus 1, and it stops the loop here and it will print the total. Here before time we did not consider the minus 1. Why? Because this term was before this term, but now we printed that this term after the below the this term, so that is the reason why this 7 was not counted and this why this minus 1 was counted. And be careful with this type. In one example at I think, yeah, nested loops or nested if else statements or something, I don't know, yeah, nested loop, if there is an example that same we are using taking the input here and giving here another statement, not the same this statement, there is another statement, we done the same thing, but don't do like that. First of all, you have to see the sample test cases. What is the he already like in the questions he gives the output, and you have to go with the according to the output, and you have to create a code for getting the same outputs. So if you done like this, you will get 6. Otherwise, if you will print it at before that that thing, again you will run it. So now same numbers I will use it at here also. 4, 3, here minus 1. What is the answer? 14. See here, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 7, 14. So this is how the position will change the whole output. So when you're entering the values, so sorry, when you're seeing the lines, be careful. Your intention is correct, but when you're applying that, be careful with that, because your intention is this thing. Okay, this logic and this thing, but when you're implementing this, first if you take first input, and after you will go with the statement, then there will be an error in the, not error, you will get the wrong output. So that is the reason we implement in a correct manner and read the question uh, multiple times to understand. If you understand in the first thing, so no problem. If you like clumsy, so be careful and read it 2 or 3 times. So after we are going with the what is the output of the following code. So now we are going with this that break. We already discussed about the break and continue, but this is how important, somewhat important in some cases, but make sure where you have to having the grip on this break and continue, because you have to know whether you have to skip or whether you have to stop the uh, loop. See here, same as before we discussed that break is not directly connected with while, it is indirectly connected with while, but however the break was in the loop, so it was considered. So when you break, the loop was stops. For example, see here, n was started from 1, right? Yeah, yeah, n was started from 1, right? So there is no increment. Are you getting? There is no increment. Why? Because when you started from 1, it will choose a wait. Yeah, there is increment printing at inside the while, because uh, first of all we go with the condition for starting value 1, 1 less than 10. Okay, 1 less than 10. So it's true when we are going inside the loop. So we entered in the loop, but after we are entering into the loop, so we can come out when the condition becomes fail. So now if statement was n equal to 6, means when the n becomes 6, stop the loop, means break it, stop the loop. So same thing was here, that print n. So until and unless when you break the what is that loop, you have to print the numbers. So if you done that thing, if you run it, you will get 1. After 1, 1 plus 1, 2. Yeah, satisfied. Up to 9, it will be satisfied. So we go with that. 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap, 4 gap, 5 gap, 6. Yeah, 5 gap. It will stops there, because 6 equals to 6. It will breaks there. See, there is a clear gap which was we given inside the end. So 1 ends with gap, 2 ends with gap, 3 ends with gap. four ends with gap, five ends with gap. So when we are going to the six, so at the stage of six, the while condition will be the while condition will be success. But when we are coming to the if statement, n, what we done with if statement was n equals to 6. But yeah, when 6 break means stop the loop. So the whole loop will be stops. So this is how we can stop the loop at the particular point which we want. If we want to stop the loop at a particular point like 10, for example, see here, he takes less than 10, right? So for example, I takes n divisible by 2. I know this thing at before to print an even number up to 20, but I don't want to say that because you have to know about this while and if the how to connect if inside while loop. So that's why I stopped there. See here, if this condition is not there, for example, this condition is not there. Okay, leave these two things. If you print it, what you will get? See, n is divisible by 2 is equals to 0. So you have to print here 2. Okay, you have to print here 2. Because if you print 1 here, for n equals to 1, 1 is not divisible by 2 is equal to 0 is fail. So loop starts at starting only. We can't enter into the loop. So you have to take a value that convenient for entering into a loop. So 0 is convenient for going into a loop because 0 now takes 2. Anything, no problem. But with the 2, 2 is divisible by 2. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So 2 is divisible by 2. Yeah, it's true. So we can enter into the loop. So if we increment was used 2, right? Adding the 2. Why we are not adding the 1? Because when we add 1 and again we give to the condition n plus 1 means 2 plus 1, what is the answer? 3. 3 is divisible by 2? No. Condition phase, loop starts at only one iteration. After one iteration, loop will be stops. So that is the reason I am adding the plus 2. So print n. This is a thing which we uh, yeah, see here. See how we got and a code that it gives the infinity. So if you want to give an condition that like, see, if you want to print up to 20, print that 20, not 22, because you have to you want 20, right? So it will give, see, 2 6 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 16 18 20 up to 20. It gives the output. So this is how you have to find an even number up to this range, given range. And before time what we done was, here we done n is less than or equals to 20, increment 2. So same thing we can done. But if you want to use with a break statement and if statement also, we can find the even numbers up to where we want. See here, if I want to change here 100 and I will remove it because okay, I will get in a line like a different lines. Sorry, I have to run it here, right? Sorry. Okay, I will get the whole even numbers up to 100 other than 100 because I entered here 100. If you want 100, then add 2. So this is how you have to do that. So here you can having a doubt that, see here, see here, you if you want to, if you this thing, this is an infinity loop. See here, it will gives a infinity code. It gives up to anything. Why? Because here, because here you done yeah, because here you done the thing was n is not equals to 101. For example, n is you are adding 2 to 2, right? So the values of n was every time even number. So what is the type of 101? It's a odd number. 101 is a odd number. So there is no possibility, there is zero possibility of getting n equals to 101 because n is an even number, because we are adding 2 to the even. Initially we are initial with a even number, and we are doing with a even number. So how can we get an odd number? So we cannot. So it will gives the infinity out infinity output. So that is the reason I am taking 1 or 2, either 100. If I take 1 or 2, it gives up to 100. Okay, so make sure you're taking only 1 or 2, not 101, because there is zero possibility of getting n equals to 101. Zero possibility, there is no possibility. Okay, and for 1 or 2, after I think 2, right, 51 iterations are near, yeah, nearly 51 iterations, we will get the 1 or 2. After the getting 1 or 2, the condition fails, right? So it will break, means it will stop the loop. So this is how it works. And after this we will go with the another thing, that what is the output of following code. So continue, here you used continue. Before time we used break, right? So now we can continue with the keyword continue. Whoosh. So go with that, and n equals 0, initially given the value n is 0. So we can take n up to 6 because n is less than 7. And n is, see here, increment, he used increment at down, not down, he used increment at starting. Yeah, starting, because the we use continue. So you can having a doubt that why we are using these, when we are coming to the continue, we are using this increment at starting, why we are not using at bottom. So if suppose, for suppose, when the condition fails, okay, the if statement fails, we will get the increment automatically. There is no meaning in it, sorry, there is no problem in it. So if the condition will be like satisfies, what is the thing that, see here, break means it will stop the whole loop and gets from out of the loop. Continue means it will stop these thing. Okay, continue means what the downside of the continue. Okay, the downside of the continue, below of the continue, what we are written, it will skip that thing and it will goes again to the while loop. So it again come here and again come here. So that is the reason what why we are writing the increment at before the if we write this increment, see for example, I will 0. 0 is less than 7. Yeah, condition was passed. So when we are going here, 0 is not 0 is getting plus 1, and 1 is, this condition will be failed. So it will print the 1. Okay. Why this condition will fail? 1 is not divisible by 3. So this condition fails means this continue is not worth, like, sorry, not applicable or not considerable. So we can go with the print. So we, what is the value of n? 1. So after printing this, it will goes here. What is the value of n? 1. So 1 less than 7. Yeah, correct. So when it going here, the value of n was 1. It becomes 2. So here also condition fails, it prints 2. But when going here, the value was n was 2. 2 less than 7. Yeah, correct. But here n becomes 3 because adding 1, right? 3 divisible by 3 is 0. Continue. Continue means skip the, yeah, skip at the particular position and go with the further conditions. Sorry, further points. See, at the point of 3, the condition will be stops, means stops there, and again it will starts with the uh, after onwards, like after 4. So how it will be 4 if you print it here? Wait, I will run it and I will again change the position of increment. See here, when it comes to 3, it stops the printing 3 and it continue with the 4. And where it comes to the value 6, it stops the 6, it continue with the 7. And you can ask me the doubt that why we are print 7. N is less than 7, right? But why we print the value n 7? Because we used increment at here, not here. So that is the reason why calling the while in the type, first run the code and again after only it will check the condition. In many, like if you ask the chat GPT or anything, what is the what is the difference in the other loops and while loop, it will says that uh, it is the indefinite loop and it's run first, it's run the code and after only it will execute the code, like after only it will check the code. So that is the reason they said that first it runs with 7. Okay, normally the value of n was not 7, we have to stop that. Sorry, if the value was n was 7, we have to stop that. But here see, when it converts to the 7, the whole code will run with the 7. But as per for loop, it's an wrong thing, you have to stop the loop. But as per the while loop, with the 7 you can run it, but after when you are going to check whether the 7 was less than or 7, like, yeah. But when it becomes fails, then you can stop the loop. So that is the difference between the loops. So here we go with the 7 because when we are 6 here, right? 6 is less than 7, condition passes. So 6 plus 1, 7. 7 is not divisible, it will print it. So this is how it will works. So for example, I will print this same thing at down, then it will gives the, it will stops the loop, I think, otherwise it will gives the loop. Wait, control C, right? So when we will give here, if you run it, what output we will get, that it taking time means we are getting the output like whether infinity or like no, we didn't get any error, but we will get whether infinity or we will get as whether nothing. For example, when we are just we calculate ourselves that what will be the output. So for 3, right? Yeah, for 0, 1, 2, it will get fail and it will print it and it will again increment it. Okay, when it will increment it, 2, when it will increment to the 2, it becomes 3. When 3 less than 7 passes, 3 divisible 3, yeah, here it will be correct. So when we use the keyword continue, so it will continue means it will skip this part. Okay, it will skip this part and it will gives again, goes again here. What is the value of n? The value of n was 3. Again, this condition will be passed. Continue works, and again skip this, and again you will get the blank thing, like blank, not a blank. You will stop the loop, but it will running, but it not didn't give anything. Like it was an infinity output, but there is nothing to show because there is it not going further, it stopped there. Because when it continue means there is no increment in n, there is only skipping it again and again and again until infinity, so that we are not getting the answer, it's still checking, it's still running it. So we so that why we are using this thing at uh, top of the code. When we if you use download the code, it when continue will starts working, so it will skip this thing. And when we is going here, but the value of n was still 3, and at till infinity it's still 3. It's 3 3 3 at going with the 3. So there is no increment. Because of this we are adding this increment at before if statement, like before continue. Otherwise we cannot go further. Okay, so this is how a continue works, and why we are changing the syntax. Like, we are using this n plus 1 at the down, and here we are using the n plus 1 at the top. We get the point, like we get some logic at here, right? So this is the how we are doing with this continue and break. I think almost you got the point. How we using this break, and how was this continue was working. So when we are going with this, make sure that when you're using this continue and break, the increment will be whether at break it have to be down for yeah, where is that? Yeah, for continue it have to be top. For example, this n plus 1 is above the if statement, then what will be happen? So if the n plus 1 will be above the statement, then it will starts from 1, and when 5, the value 5 was coming, right, it will stops the loop. Okay, not at 6, at 5 it will stops the loop, because at the value of 1, sorry, when we are increment is added at here, so that if we enter the value 5, 5 plus 1 6, so 6 equals 6 break. So we have that, we have to find that whether n equals to 6, then we have to break it, so that we have to use this increment at downside. Okay, yeah. uh, and after this we already done why we have to do, like why we have to type the increment at what top of the code, so top of the starting at the while loop. So after that, we go with the write a while loop that finds and prints the largest number in a list. So we already done in the same question that in if else, but if else there is the things three inputs. We are giving the three inputs and we are finding among these three inputs, not other than that. But here there's only one input. That too, it is a list. So from that list, we have to find. We have to find which letter was largest. So yeah, see here, in if else statement, if there is 5 words, then it will be a long code for doing that. You have to do like, see, a is greater than b, largest equals to a is greater than c, a is greater than d, a is greater than e, or I'm saying about these elements. Okay, I'm already assigned to E, A, B, C, D, E. So when we are doing with if else, if else, you have to do nearly 5 into 5. So 20, 25 lines of code for with using only if and if for finding the largest integer. So for while loop, see, we completed it in just 10 not just in 8 lines. So this is how and for loop will be useful. So when you're going with this thing, see here. Okay, see here. So when we are going with that, see here. Yeah. First of all, the integers were given in the list. So the length of the list was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the index will starts from 0, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the reason we are not using equals to, and that is the reason why we are starting I with the 0. So when we are taking I equals to 0, so here the largest is numbers 0. So previously I said in if else that first of all you take one of the, if I entered three integers, okay, if you want to find largest in the among these three integers, you take one of the integer as largest, and after that apply if else for that. And when you are applying the if else, if b is greater than a, then b is the largest, or if b is greater than c, sorry, yeah, b is greater than c, c is the like. Yeah, something like that. So there we already taken the input input a as largest. So here also he is doing the same thing, but when we are doing this, the lines of code will be decreased. So that is the reason he was taking that. For example, largest equals to number 0. So we know that that is not the largest, but we have, if here they give it another thing, then how can we find that? So we don't know what here was. Then also we have to find the largest. So for that we are creating the code, not for just seeing and saying the answer. We have to create a code for giving any list. Here we giving any list, we have to get the correct input, sorry, correct output. So in that manner, when we are going with that, so see here, numbers equals to 12, 47, 3, 89, 26. So which was the largest? 89, we know that. But if they will give the another list, we have to say that different number. So for that mistakes, so we have to create a code that largest equals to numbers, right? Sorry, numbers of 0. What is the value of these numbers of 0? 12, because the index is 0 indicates the first element of the list. So when we entered here 0, the element was 12, right? So I equals to 12. Let's go with that. While I is less than length of numbers. Yeah, true. Means like up to 26 we can run it, and after 26 we cannot, because there is no element, and also yeah, there is no element. So that I is as large just as 4, not 5. If I will be 5, you have to write another element, because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I will be 5, then you have to add another number. So that is the reason you having less than length is 5, right? So up to 4 it will be works. After that automatically we can come out from the loop. So here we go with the if statement. What is that if statement? Was saying that if number of I is largest greater than largest. See here, for example, what is the value of I? 0. 0 was less than 6, sorry, 5. The length of numbers was 5. Yeah, true, we got the point that 0 was less than 5. So when we are entering into the loop, once we entered, then until and unless the condition will be false, the loop was runs again and again. So when we are entering into loop, 0 I, what is the value of I? 0. So number 0 is greater than, what is the largest? Number 0. So remove these numbers, just add number. This is more comfortable for calling. Yeah, here also. Make sure when you are changing the variable, you have to see carefully everywhere. If you done anything, you will get the mistake like name error or something. Yeah, name error. For example, we go with this thing that, yeah, what is the number 0? I value was 0 at here. So what is the value of number 0? 12. 12 is not greater than 12. So that condition fails. It goes to the increment. What is the increment? I plus 1. So 0 to 1. So again, the loop goes here. Here, first at the starting, the value of I was 0. And after, the value was, yeah, I equals to 1, because the condition failed. So the I becomes 1, because not number was 0 greater than largest, right? So so the condition was failed. So leave it. And when you are coming to the increment, so increment becomes 0 to 1. So again it goes at here. 1 is less than length of number 5. Yeah, 1 is less than 5. Yeah, true. So again loop will be runs. So what is inside number 1? What is the number 1? 47. Okay, number 1 was 47. 0, 1, 2, right? So 1 is 47. So Now the 47 is the 47 is greater than 12, right? Because the largest we assigned starting at that 12. So 12 is 47 is greater than 12. So now if the condition if the condition will be satisfied, so what is the mean? So you have to go with the if statement. If statement. So what is the statement inside the if largest equals to number I? So here you have to think that, see here, largest equals to number I. So largest was changing. So here large, what is the value of largest at starting? 12. So now when this answer like this condition was satisfied, so that largest becomes the number which was we entered here, 47. So that now the largest number was 47. So you got that. So this is how here the arrangement changes, right? So I becomes 1 right here. Now I becomes 2. So I becomes 2, and he when comes to here, what is I2? 0, 1, 2. I2 was 3. 3 is greater than not 12. Here 47, because if the statement was satisfied, then what is the meaning? The largest will becomes the number I which is largest than before largest. Before largest is we assumed 12, but now 47 is greater than 12. This satisfied the condition, right? So that is the that is why the largest was changed to which was greater than before largest. Which was greater than before largest? 47 is greater than 12. So that is the reason largest equals to 47. So 3 is greater than 47. No, fails. So that this condition was failed. So it goes to the increment. What is the increment? What is the value of increment here? 2. So I becomes 3. When I becomes 3, see here, 0, 1, 2, 3. What is the value of number here? See, I am going with this thing, number I. What is the value of number I? The value was 89, is greater than 47. Yeah, this is true. We know that 89 is greater than 47. So here when the condition was passed, when the condition was get passed, we have to go with this statement, right? What is the statement? Largest equals to number I. What is the number I which we are entered here, and which was largest than before largest? What is the before largest? 47. Now 89 is greater than 47. So that largest will be changes to before largest to after largest. What is the new largest number? 89. So that now largest was 89. And after this, when this condition was passed, we go into the increment. So the value of increment is 3. So when you increment it, the value of I was 3. So I becomes 4. Okay, this is the last iteration. And when goes to the here, yeah, it work 4 is less than 5. So number 4 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 26. So 26 is less than, what is the largest? We are already largest changed to, so I changed from 47 to 89. So you have to print here 89. So yeah, not less than, greater than. So this is fails. So condition fails, again increment. So what is the increment here? 4 to 5, right? I equals to 5. So when I equals to 5, it checks the whether I was this condition, whether true or false. 5 is not less than 5. 5 is equals to 5. So that is the reason the loop will be stops, and it prints the largest. After stopping this loop, you can go further. Otherwise, we have to run the code inside the loop again and again until and unless condition will be failed. So here when we are doing with this, the condition fails at I equals to 5. So same thing was happened here. I equals to 5, the condition, the loop was stopped, and we exited from loop. So we have to print largest. What is the largest? Find at the last, the value of largest is final answer. Okay. So in the iteration of one, two, three, four, five, fifth iteration, the largest number was 89. So that the largest becomes, sorry, the largest number was 89. If you want to run it, first of all, you have to remove this thing. Okay. If you want to run it, it will give 89. So why I said these codes are now important, because when you are going with this course, see here, like no, like here will be an input like 56. Okay, see the length of 5, same thing. Everything was same. You can give anything length, like you can change the length of this thing, and if you change the length, you can change. You have to change the sorry. It will be change the index also. So it automatically changes the index, because index and length are both are connected, right? So if we decrease the length, index also decreases. 0 to here, the index was 0 to 3, and length was 4. So when we are going with this, here see what he write, 89, right? So we can see and guess the number. If you don't know the output, see here 80, 99. So this is how the code was needed for us. We know the input, we can say right, we can find it. But if for example, don't use digit. So here, if you want to check whether the largest number, so what we have to do, we have to see 56. Yeah, here, yeah, for 495. So leave these things. 395. Yeah, 600. Yeah, is greater than these things. These things. 908. Yeah, this is greater than. Yeah, 908. So before time, you can guess in a 2 seconds or 1 second. But now we have to check nearly 10 seconds. So what is the difference? So for the large inputs, it takes some time to count, like time to count that which one is a largest. So you have to see every input, and yeah, this is the input, and there is no sequence for that. It will be uh, it will be at middle, it will be highest, it will be lowest, it will be highest, like any sequence. So in that manner, if you want to find whether which number was largest, so at that time coding was important. See here, when I run in 1 second, I got the 908. Whether otherwise I have to count everything, and I have to say that. So for the largest inputs, we are doing this. So these are, I'm saying, for because of how the coding helps, like how at real life this code will helps. And you have to know that how we are learning this coding, and where we have to use this, like that. So this is how we are using this Python or Java, C plus plus, C and codings at our real life. These are basic things. That's where, yeah, these are basic things, not difficulty. Write a nested while loop, that he brings nested while loop at here. So you already know, right? Row equals to 0, while row is less than 4, call equals to 0, while call is less than 4. You know that, right? So we already done the same exact question. Yeah, same question at before. Okay, sorry. Same question before time. So I just run it once, and afterwards we'll go with the next question because we already done in the nested while loop the same question. So yeah, see row is 0, so it starts from 0, and here the increment, right? So I will say directly that for 1, 2, 3, 4, it go up to 3, and call equals to 0, and it is also same that starts from 0 and ends from 3. So this is the 3 into 3 matrix that with stars. There is he did not give a space. And if you want to print a matrix, so it's must and should that you have to print this thing. Otherwise, it did not get a new line. It will print in a single line. Okay. When you are printing this print off, then you will get a new line after the completing this inner loop. After this completing the inner loop, you can get the new line. Otherwise, you did not get any inner line. Sorry, another line. So this is the reason after completing the first loop, it goes to the another loop. Sorry, this is 4 into 4 matrix, not 3 into 3, because I did not added the 0. After this thing, 4 into 4 matrix, this thing. Okay, then this is how works. So after that, if we are, yeah, you know that I already explained this thing that if you add here row, okay, then we will get the input like C star, like a right angle. Why did not get here the these three stars? Because call is not goes up to 3. It goes up to 1. See here, not 1 also, because at the starting value 0. 0 is not less than 0. Condition fails. So for loop, this inner loop will not works. It takes a new line. See, first line was empty because of this while loop was failed. So this print will do that. After this, it takes a new line and 1 plus. Here, the value of row was 1. 1 less than 4, true. So call is less than 1, means it prints 1 star. But when coming to the call 1, so because there is increment, right? So 1 less than 1 fails. So it goes to the another line. Like that same for 2 rows, row 2 it will give 2, for row 3 it will give 3, for row 1 it will give 1, for yeah, like that. For row 1 it will give 0 because is less than. If you add equals to, then it will give from starting onwards. See here, for row 1 1, row 2 2, row 3 3, row 4 4. So this is how you can form a right angle, so that, yeah, that's all in this type. And yeah, I already explained this thing, so there is no need to going into a brief explanation. After this, he takes nested loop here, so I will explain it later in the nested loop. First of all, we complete in the while loop. After that, we can go here. See here, he done append. We already done the append. You know the append because sorry, you know I already know the meaning of append. For append, we use for adding the elements to the list. So squares here, squares was taken as a empty list. Okay, squares was taken as a empty list. So when was he taken as a empty list? N equals to 1. Well, n is less than equals to 10. Squares dot append n into 2. See here, what he done was, if you want to add anything into the list, you have to denote the name of the list. Here the name of the list was squares. You can call it a variable also. The name of the list was squares. Squares dot append of n into 2 means here what is the meaning of that was, see here, first of all we have to do with the, yeah, n equals to 1. For n equal to 1, so squares is a empty list. So when we are going with the squares dot append, what will be happen? So append n square, right? So what is the squares? is an empty list. So for n equals to 1, 1 power 1, sorry, 1 square is 1. So it will squares become, okay, yes, yes becomes what? List 1. How it will be 1? 1 power 1 square. 1 square is 1. And after that, it will increment it to the 2. So after that, when we are going to n equals to 2, okay, n equals to 2, the condition will be satisfied, and we are going to the squares. Here, what will be there? Already, see here in first iteration, the list squares having value 1. So the second iteration also having that, but it will add and one another thing that which was inside the append n square. For now, what is the value of n? 2. What is the 2 square? 4. Okay. After going to the n equals to 3, again increment it, n equals to 3, s equals to 1 comma 4. This is compulsory. See, before what is there, it will be exist in until the final answer it will exist inside the list. It doesn't came out, and after that, now what is the value of n? 3. So what is the 3? 9. So like that, if you will go, sorry, if you will go, okay, lastly you will get n equals to 10. When it comes to 10, already he done that. 10 is whether less than 10, n is whether less than 10 or equals to 10. So s equals to 1 comma 2, sorry, 1 comma 4 comma 9 comma, what is the 4 square? 16, 25, what is that? 36, 49, 64, 7, sorry, 64 after 81, 81, 100. This is the list where we got in the 10th iteration. So after this 10th iteration, when we are going to the 11, 11 is not less than or equals to 10. So it will stops the loop because condition was failed. So when the condition was failed, it will choose the print. What is the squares? What is the final uh, answer for squares? The final answer and the last iteration, what is the value in the last iteration, is the final answer for squares. So here the final iteration was this thing because n equals 11 was condition was failed. So this is the yeah, this is the list which the this is the value of squares which we saw in last time in last iteration. So this is the final value of squares. So you remember it, right? So when we run it, we get the same answer: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and so on 100. So this is how we append function was works, and inside the append we can write like n power 2, n into 2, n plus 1, n plus 2, like that. So we are having the value n, right? So we can do that. This is the syntax for doing adding elements to the given empty list. So be careful, remember this syntax, and remember this how we are added the integers. We are having creating the integers and adding to the forming the integers and adding to the empty list squares. So this is how we done. And after this, we are having that fix the bug in the following code so that loop terminates correctly. See here, I will copy this both things, and I will explain it at briefly that. So here there is a bug. They were saying that there is a bug in the first one. So clear it. So count equals to 1. While count is less than or equals to 5, print count. So what is the bug here? So what is the bug at here?
Yeah, the bug was increment. He did not add the increment. You can see that if you run this code means if you are sorry. Okay, this is also one of the type to don't include this into the code. When we run it, one up to so on. Why? Because there is no increment. There is no increment. If there is no increment, one is less than five. We know that. Print one. Sorry, print count. Count value of count was one. It prints one. Again goes here. One, up to infinity. Infinity ones. So there is a bug that we are getting the infinity ones. So what we have to do? What we have to do for this increment? So if you will do with this bug that if you run it, one, two, three, four, five. So this is why I already said that what is the purpose of this increment? Why we are using this increment with directly to the why we are doesn't use this indirectly like we are using this if statement, why we are not using this increment inside the if, and why we are using this increment to the directly to the while. So I explained this thing, and the same thing was came come here, that giving these two codes, and whether there we just we also done the same thing, but here both codes are at here and clear difference is in front of us. So this is how an increment needed for a while loop. Without increment we will get the infinite loop. For loop, there is no need of increment because it automatically get the one after one. But because we are giving the range and it automatically getting the steps like adding one, it will take the input. But if you but in while not like that. If you did not take increment, it will stuck at one, and it will going with the one again and again until infinity. So this is how increment was important to a while loop. So here see what is the question was, write a while loop combines with random int. Yeah, he brings this random int six sides die until it lands on a six. So we have to give some inputs for that. Okay, when we are giving the input, if we enter six at there, then wait, I will show you that. So sorry, there is no term input here because it have to choose a random number. Not we are giving a random number. It have to choose a random number. So it will choose the random number. We have to just run it again and again for getting the value 6. So now when you are using the random and other functions belongs to random, you have to import random. I already said this thing. So when we are coming to the roll number was sorry, it's not roll number. Roll roll was 0. Okay, items was 0. It starts from using while so that we use increment. Okay, but when we are using increment, yeah, increment. For example, while roll is not equal to 6. If roll equals to 6 means what is the meaning, right? What is the meaning? The starting attempt was, yeah, at the starting attempt was we got the 6. So here we have to write plus 1, right? Why? Because if we where how we get at starting this print, when this while loop will be fail. When this while loop will be fail, this roll will, yeah, this roll will be 6. When we roll the dice, we will get the value 6 at first attempt. So you have to give it a first attempt right here, so that I am adding with plus 1, but he did not add it plus 1. So we have to add plus 1 because in first attempt we are getting the 6. So what is it here? Here 0, right? So that, but here, see here, he done that. Why he did not add this plus one here? Because here there is a increment. If we know that how, see once how we will come into a loop. The starting condition will be fails. Then only we can enter into a, sorry, the starting condition will be pass. Then only we can enter into a loop. So when we are entering into a loop, we can run it again and again until and unless the condition will be fails. So that, for example, attempts is 0. Okay, attempts is not linked with roll. Okay, roll is different, attempts is different. And uh, see here, initially we taken the value of roll is 0. So roll equals to random dot radiant. So here he will take the values from 1 to 6. He can take 6, he can take 1, he can take 5, 4, 3, anything. So here that we have to find that whether he can give, see here, if in first attempt he can give 1, otherwise he can give 2, he can give 3. So if in first iteration, if he will give 1, I mean he will pick the random value 1, then the new value of roll is 1. For, see, the initial value of roll is 0, but when it picks 1, the new value of roll is 1, and again it picks 4, the new value of roll is 4. When it picks 5, the new value of roll is 5. When the value of 6, the attempt is counted. When we placed the 6, the attempt was counted, but the 6 when it goes at here, okay. So that the 6 is not equal to 6, condition was failed, and it goes here. What is the attempts, right? What is the attempts you done? You done attempts like uh this. What is that? No, I will say if you want to add plus one, you can add, but I will say you after how you will add. See, for example, I will run it. It took 13 rows to get a 6. So see, first of all, the value of roll is 0. 0 is not equal to 6. We know that. The condition true. It goes into the loop. So when we are going to the loop, see here, see here, the it first of all it picks 1. Okay, 1 is not equals to, after you picking the 1, it will count it. After, see, before time we use the same thing at before, and this thing is after. Why? Because we don't want, like if we enter -1, we can get come out of the loop. So the total will doesn't add the -1. So that is the reason we done before the it like total. But here when we are coming to the here, the roll is when we roll it, it's an attempt, right? If it is first or it is second or it is third, we get 6 means we attempted that first. Otherwise we did not attempt any thing, how we will get the 6, right? So first we have to attempt, again after that we will get the answer. So that is the reason why he write this above. When we get 6, it will be attempted, but you will get a roll as 0. So for example, here he took, wait, we will run it again. 17, 2. Yeah. First, for example, a random int takes 4. Okay. So again, if see, it not checks after immediately. It will first takes attempts as 1, because 0, right? 0 becomes 1. Again only the new value of roll will be goes here and check it here. 4 is not equals to 6. So again it will run. Now the value of roll is 6, but it doesn't go immediately here. It will takes attempt as 2. Means the value of attempt was 1, right? So it becomes 2. So when the attempts was 2, the roll value goes here. The what is the new value of roll? The new value of roll is 6. 6 not equals 6. Condition fails. So the loop stops here and go with this thing. What is the attempts last we are done? 2. So print 2 here and 2 rolls to get a 6. So this is how we are done this. For example, roll will be a remove the 0 and int of input of enter a number. Okay, it will ask the input. If I will give 1, it will take 1 roll to get a 6. Not mandatory that if we enter 1 we will get 1. If I enter 1 again, see, it took 5 rolls to get a 5. It will randomly take a 4 integers, and at the 5th attempt it takes the correct integer, that is 6. So with the initial value we can do like this, but when it coming to 6, if I enter 6, it takes 0 rolls to get a 6. How it will be possible? If there is 0 attempts, so if there is 0 attempts means there is 0 output. If you attempt 1, you will get output 1, whether that is 6, 1, 2, 3, anything. But attempt, there is 1 attempt, there is 1 output, but we got the output, but attempt was 0. So in this type of thing, what you have to do? So here add +1, but here you can say that if we add +1 here, then when we got if suppose roll will take 5 attempts, okay, but we will get here 6 attempts, so it will be mistake. So at that time, Control C, take it here. So now it did not include, okay, it did not include the number count. No, insanity. No, 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 no. Intent will be +1. Okay, for example, for let's take for 4. Okay, roll is 4. 4 equals to 6. The random radiant is 4. Okay, this condition will be true. For example, let's take true and go with this. Intent will be 1. When we attempted, we get the answer 4, right? Yeah. And again 4 goes to here. 4 is not equals to accepted. Again attempt is 2. When we are coming to the here, we get 6. 6 goes here. 6 is not equal to 6. Stop the loop. So we get the 2. Okay, done. Yeah, 2, 2 plus 1, 3. So no, no, no. So this is the default, like there is an you have to use another if and else. Inside the if you have to use, I think so, while yeah, inside the if you have to use while, because otherwise you will got one extra attempt when roll will be 6. So don't think about that. I will explain further in the tough questions. When I will explain about the tough questions, I will explain it, so don't worry about that. For presently we are going with this, and we completed this thing. Write a while loop. So same thing, write this same as which you done in previous largest number. So you instead of largest you have to take divisible by both 3 and 5. See here, you taken an input list here. Okay, taken an input list here. So The input list, the input numbers was list 15, 22, 30, 45, 8, 67. Okay. So now see here, you were saying that pick the numbers from the given list which was divisible by both 3 and 5. You know that how to indicate an element in a list separately. So when you're using these numbers I, what is the value of I? I will start from 0. We know that index starts from 0. And for number 0, 15 was divisible by 3. Yeah. Divisible by 5. Yeah. Both conditions was passed. Count is 1. So this increment is directly indicates that. So here I plus 1 means not 16. Okay. The value of I is not 15. The numbers I is value was 15. The numbers I was, sorry, the value of numbers I was 15, not the value of I was 15. The value of I was 0. After 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So until it will go set 6. Okay. I6 means it will run 7 iterations, including 0. It will run 7 iterations. With the 7 iterations, we will get count is for 15, there is one count because it will divide by both 3 and divide by 4, both 5. After the 6, we get 7, right? 7 is not less than 7. 7 is equals to 7. So loop will stops and it goes to the count. So count is initially 0 because there is no number picked, so there is no count. So when one of the number is correct, then count will be 1. So when we are going through this, 15 is correct because 15 is divisible by 3 and divisible by 5. And we used AND operator here. So it have to be considered as, means like the condition will be passed. So count equals to 1. So when you are going with the 22, fails. Again, another one, 30. 30 means, yeah, with the both 3 and 5, it will be divisible and count become 2. For 45, same thing. Count will become 3. 8 fails, goes there. After that, 60. Yeah, passed. So count, finally, the count was 4. Yeah, the count was 4. The output was 4. This is the way of finding which previously we used that given number was whether find divisible by both 3 and 5. But now giving a list and giving a group of numbers in the form of list and let's find the given numbers or whether divisible by 3 or 5 in the one code. So you have to do in one code and using this AND operator. We know that how an AND works. And yeah, that's all. After this, we're going to the 20. Write a while loop that keeps doubling a starting value of 1 until it exceeds 1000. See here, he given an range that 0 to 1000, that he have to, sorry, 1 to 1000, that he have to double the values. Okay, double the values. Yeah, double the values until 1000. Sorry, until 1000. Like that 1000 is not range for value. Yeah, yeah. Value will start from 1, right? So value will the range for value was 1000. Means I think it approx. No, I can't because here it is a multiplication, right? So it may be 2 into 1. It starts from 2. So 50. Yeah, it goes up to 50 512. Yeah, 512. It goes up to 512 because when we are multiplying this 2 with 1 and again same, see, I will explain it at compiler that once run it, you will get 512. See what I said is 512. 2. So here you have to know about this thing was, yeah, here see he done that print value. So that is the reason he printed the every value that, see, first of all the value was 1, doublings is 0. It's just like a count. How many times yeah, how many times you are doing, getting the numbers, just count it like that. So doublings, so how many times you are doubling the value, count it. So doublings equals to 0 for starting, because there we did not multiply 2 uh, before that. So after that we are multiplying, so that we are increment, doing the increment. So while value, so value is up to 1000 only, not greater than 1000. So print value. So print the value. First of all, starting value of starting, see, it's difficult to pronounce it. Starting value of v was, starting value of v was 1, right? So the starting value of v was 1. So when 1 is less than equals to 1000, right? So print v, it printed the 1. Again goes doubling. Yeah, doublings. Yeah, after the printing v, after the printing 1, it doubles. Means 1 into 2, 2. Yeah, it doubles. There is no condition for doubling. It just doubles, and when it doubles, increment will be added to the doublings. So we done increment for doubling in increment to the doublings, that doublings become 1 when first time we into multiplied 2 with the v, right? So doubling becomes 1. After that, what is the value of v? We already done doubling right here. So the value of v was 2. 2 is less than, yeah, right, print 2. He printed the 2. Again 2 into 2, 4. Doubling becomes 2. So here doubling was 0, right? Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, he considered this as, yeah, wait, I will show you that. Up to here, the doubling was how much? The doubling was 9. So why here doubling was 10? Why he done doubling here was 10? I will show you that. Wait a minute. See here, if you see here that for 1 there is no doubling, because it's a initial value and we did not double it until now. So v is a 1. When we are going to the w, 0, right? So uh, when we are going with this print, after the here 0 0, here 9, after the printing 512, okay, how it will be 512, you will see, into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, and so on, into 2 into 2, 512. After the 512, here, see, this thing was, this 512 was come from this print, okay, not this print, this print 512 come from this print. So after this 512 is divisible by, sorry, multiplied by 2. What is the answer? Multiplying the 512 into 2 was 2, sorry, 1024. Doubling, doubling means, see, doubling is not after the checking the condition. Doubling will adds, doubling will automatically add, but after adding an increment of doublings, it will check the condition. So after we multiplying this 512 to the 2, we get, what is the new value of v? 1024. So we multiplied, right? So if we multiplied, we have to do increment. So we done the increment. So that is the reason why up to here the increment was 9, but here they done increment was 10. Why? Because of this. After the new value of v will be goes here. What is the new value of v? 1024. So 1024 becomes less than 1000. It will be fail, and it will goes to here. So this is the reason why I said increment here was 9, but here they printed 10, because after this print we are doing again doubling. Okay, After this print, we are doing again doubling. So that is the reason here we got 10, right? After this print, uh, we know that we know this format that doubling to exceed 1000. So you can see here doubling was used in this step, but yeah, you can see there is no increment for v because we are already doing the statement for v, so there is no need of increment. Because if we do increment, if we do increment, what will be happen for v? If we do increment, what will be happen? It will be, see, I will show you that. First I will say input, and after I will run it, it will show you that v equals to plus equals to 1. Okay, this is the increment, same as like this. So if we run it, sorry, if we do this, see, after 1 multiplying 2, what is the answer? 2. It have to print it. But when we are doing increment, here it have to print 3 because 2 becomes 3 here. So after 3 goes here, yeah, 3 is less than equals to 1000. So print v. So we are print v is 3 because after multiplying 2, we adding the 1. So here you can assume, you can say that, yeah, here 3, right? Here 5, here 9. No, because we are multiplying 2 to the not 2 for 3. Here the new value was 3, so that 3 into 2, 6. Again we are adding 7. The new value of v was 7. So here not 5, 7. And now we are multiplying the 7 to the 2, and we are getting the value 14. 14 is not 14, and we are doing increment, right? So 14 becomes 15, and it goes here, and it will be, see, 1, 3, 17, 15, and so on, 5, 11. You can see here before time we got 512, but here 511, why it decreased? But see carefully that this is not 9 increments, this is 10, this is 8 increments. Here the doublings was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 9 because I already said doublings was 1 here. So this is how if we add the increment to the while loop at this position, because we are already having the statement for v. So there is no need of increment. If we add, we will get the wrong output. So you have to know whether, so in some cases, we need increment or not. Just clarify yourself. Yes. Get some clarity about that. And afterwards, that's all I already said. We can write this thing in the type of, remove this f. What we can write doublings, the value of doublings, we have to add plus here, yeah, but see, it will show a error. Why? Because the type, the data type of doublings is not right, not in string, it is an integer. So add, sorry, string. When you will do it again, 1, 2, 3, 5, 12. Take 10. Here, see, you did not get the space because when we use comma, or when we use for whole thing in order commas and giving the space, it will see, it was giving the whole in order commas to the whole thing. So this spaces was worked. But when we are giving add, right? So give some space here, give some space here, because we can't give space yet here, because if you give here space, there is it doesn't consider by code, it considered only inside the inverted commas. When you run it, you'll get took 10 doublings to exceed 1000. So this is how I have to complete this thing, and we completed these examples regarding while loop, and these are the basic examples, and which you need to, if you need to do such type of tough examples like for practice, you have to do practice on this, and after you can do with the tough questions. You have to having some grip about this, and uh, so based on the output, you have to give some input like this. It took like attempt. So you have to learn these all things on practicing in different types of sums. And and after session we will discuss about this for loop. Thank you for watching.